Here's how to apply technical analysis indicators in NinjaTrader. First thing you want to do is obviously open your NinjaTrader 8 platform. I'm connected to my data feed down here, and you want to go and click on New. The first thing you need to do is obviously load a chart, and then on that chart you'll be applying the indicators that you want to be using. Alright, obviously indicators, before I show you this, forms an integral part in any trader's analysis, right? Whether it's part of a strategy, whatever the case might be. And it helps them with the decision making. Should I get into a trade, maybe get out of a trade, whatever the case might be. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead, open a chart like I said, and I'm just going to open the E-mini S&P as an example. I like using a specific template, which is this one over here. I'm just going to leave it on a 60-minute time frame. Could be on any time frame, but for explanation purposes, I'm just going to use that time frame. Alright, so a new chart will then open up, and because I am connected to my data feed, live data is currently streaming in here on the ES. Right, now there are two ways that you can load indicators onto your chart. The first one would be by right-clicking anywhere in your chart and going ahead and selecting indicators. A new window would then pop up, and on the top left here it says indicators. This is your indicators window, and all of the default NinjaTrader 8 indicators will be listed over there. I don't know, there's probably hundreds of them, but it's probably well worth your while to go and study which are the most popular indicators and what they actually try to achieve or show you, right? So let's say, for example, you do not know what any one of these indicators mean. You could, before you apply, just show you this quickly. Let's say you want to know what ADX means. All right, you can left click on it, and then you've got this little information button on the top. So if you click on that, there will be another window that pops up that basically tells you what the ADX indicator is. In this case, it's called the average directional index, and then what it actually does. All right, so a really cool resource of information if you wanted to figure out or unsure about what any one of these indicators actually do or what the name means. All right, you can go ahead and click OK. But for explanation purposes, one of the most famous ones are your Bollinger Bands. So if you want to show up the Bollinger Bands on your chart, you have to double click on the Bollinger Band indicator or any one indicator of your choosing, and it'll bring it into the configured box in the bottom left hand side here. All right, I've already got an indicator loaded here, but let's say, for example, you only have the Bollinger Band. Then on the right hand side, you'll have all of the properties of that indicator, a lot of times with default settings, and in most cases a lot of these settings can actually be changed. All right, but for this video I quickly just want to show you how we can actually apply this. So if you got that on your chart, you're happy with the settings, you can go ahead and click apply, and you'll see on the right hand side here of this indicator window that it's already been applied to my price chart. Now I'm not going to go and mess around with the default parameters. That's something you might want to look into. If you do want to change them, then that's something you can definitely do. But just for explanation purposes, again, let's say, for example, I want to change the upper band, the middle band, and the lower band's colors to something else other than the default settings. Then I can go ahead and do that, click on apply. All right, and that will then change the colors of that indicator for you. All right, I can change the thickness of these lines, I can change the colors, as well as some of the parameters if it's allowed to do that. All right, most of these indicators you can actually go ahead and change those parameters. All right, so let's say, for example, you're happy with that indicator the way you've actually customized it. You can then go ahead and click on this little template button on the bottom here, and you can then go save that as to whatever you want. You can name it My Bollinger Band Settings. Maybe you want to use a different Bollinger Band setting on a different time frame or a different strategy. You can go ahead and name that accordingly, and you can then say, for example, Bollinger Band that I'm using for scalping, and those are the settings that I like, and then go ahead and click save. All right, so the next time I then open a Bollinger Band, I can then quickly go to the templates. Instead of changing all of these colors, click on load, and I just go and select that one that I previously saved and click load. Right, and then that will open that indicator with those specific settings. Alternatively, if you just want to use the Bollinger Band with specific settings across the board with all your other charts and strategies, you can just click template, save, and let's say, for example, save as default. Now, if you click save as default, then every single time that you open the Bollinger Bands, it will open up with those default settings that you have saved specifically. Right, so that's one way to apply your indicators. The other way is by going ahead and clicking on this little button on the top here. If you hover over it, it also says indicators. Click on indicators over there, and it brings up the same window. Again, you can then pull in whatever indicator that you want, double click on it, it'll bring it into the configured area, highlight it, change all the settings if you want to, or the colors, and customize it the way that you want it. Again, go save it, give it a name, or save it as default. Right, so very, very easy to apply indicators in NinjaTrader. The other thing most traders are probably not familiar with, you can also, for example, let's say, let me just minimize the screen over here a little bit. Once let's say you trade with multiple time frames and you want to follow a different market or different time frame of the same market. On the left hand side here, I've got a blank chart of the Nasdaq, but rather than going right click indicators and selecting Bollinger Band, going through all that steps, you can actually left click anywhere on the indicator that's already loaded on a chart, hold in your mouse and drag it over to the other chart, and it will automatically apply that indicator with those same settings on that chart as well, just to make things a little bit quicker. And that's pretty much it. Indicators, there are so many of them, different indicators out there. You know, a lot of popular ones has been developed many years ago that traders still use up until today. So the purpose of this video wasn't to explain exactly what all the different indicators do. There'll be a really long video in that case, but go ahead and try to study or find out more about the most popularly used indicators and how they are used, what they try to achieve or try to show you, and then go play around with them, load them on your chart, and then you'll be set to go and start your trading journey.